We have huge Lonzo Ball news today. And then after we talk about that, we're going to talk about last night's game against the Indiana Pacers. And more specifically, Dalen Terry is growing, y'all. He's growing. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, but you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. If you're tuning in with me today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Now, look, it has come out and been reported and, stated by Billy Donovan that Lonzo Ball in January can start running. Wow. Can start a little bit of running. He's not feeling any pain in that knee that he had the cartilage transplant done to, and he will start to ramp things up a little bit more for the foreseeable future. Now, we already know, man, in January is going to mark 2 calendar years since we last seen Lonzo Ball in a Chicago Bulls uniform. Me personally, and I still feel the same way. I'm not going to get my hopes up until I actually see him touch the court. But what is the best thing out of all this is that Lonzo Ball is not feeling any pain right now, because I understand the selfishness of him wanting him and wanting to see him added back into this Bulls roster and be on the floor and be on a team. I really do want to see it, but I came out when all this stuff was going down and pretty much let everyone know that the most important thing is his everyday living. How is he going to be able to tend to his children and his family? You know what I'm saying? When that day's come, when he does decide to have children, because I don't believe he has any right now, I think. But I think that the most important thing was seeing Lonzo Ball get healthy so he can live. Because if the reports initially before this latest report is that Lonzo Ball couldn't even walk up the stairs without feeling a little bit of pain. Couldn't run. You seen that the video that he posted last year, you know what I'm saying, or earlier this year, he was running on a treadmill. He he went at Stephen A little bit and was like, look, I can get out the chair. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But that was just small stuff. I think that we need to focus on the big stuff. Can he live every single day pain-free? Probably not. We all wake up with aches and pains. But will he be a capable guy and not feel so much pain, say, every single day with that knee that was repaired or had that cartilage transplant? I gave you guys back then, and if you wasn't tuned in, but you are tuned in now, the cartilage transplant is a surgery that happens, and it's a long recovery process, about 18 to 24 months. You know what I'm saying? With the process and all those things considered, it hasn't been many players that have came back from said transplant, which is the cartilage transplant. But there have been a few cases to where guys were able to come back. I believe there was a soccer player in one of them, and then there was a hockey player in another instance, to where those guys were able to come back and be just as good as they were when they left. But the thing is, it takes time. I really believe that you cannot rush this guy back. We already know that he's out for the season, but just to receive good news on Lonzo Ball, it's great for him. I'm really happy for him. It's not about me as a Bulls fan. I would love for him to return to the Bulls and be able to do what he do. But the most important things is just being happy for him, because I think that when you work all your life for something and then, you know what I'm saying, not per se say that it's taken away, but there's a few speed bumps right there or a few roadblocks right there, you feel for a guy. You know what I'm saying? You feel for the guy. So I feel for the guy. And I'm just excited to hear that, hey, he's pain free. He's starting to move in the right direction. And that's all you really could ask for and want for Lonzo Ball. So I'm continue to prayers and the thoughts for him, not just as a basketball player, but as a person. If any, because hey, especially if you support my team. But even if he wasn't supporting my team, I still got to give it up to him. Like, bro, I want you to be in good health. That's what we really, really want for you. So, hey, I'm just happy to hear it. I hope that things continue on to progress in the right direction, and hopefully we'll see him playing basketball soon, whether that's for the Chicago Bulls or not. I believe they still have him locked up for one more year, so he should be good to return. You know what I'm saying? When that time says he can return, maybe sometime next season. But guys, that's next season. So right now, we just gonna be happy for him. We're not gonna think of anything for the future, and we just gonna keep pushing along. So shout out to Lonzo Ball, shout out to his camp, shout out to him for not giving up on his dream. And hopefully, hey, that dream and that patience completely turns into the virtue that he wants it to turn to for his life. So shout out to him. Let me know your thoughts below. But now we already know that the Chicago Bulls took that loss last night versus the Indiana Pacers in the game too. I was like, what is going on? The Bulls didn't, they seemed out of sync. There were a few questionable rotational moves, but you did see a lot of good things as well. You seen some challenges from Kobe White. You seen some challenges from Javon Carter. DeMar DeRozan was a bit off. But I think that one of the bright spots that we got to finally see was from Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry was a guy that came in and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll keep it a buck. I came on here and I'm like, hey, we got Julian Phillips now. Where the hell is Dalen Terry? It's kind of like that out of sight, out of mind type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't really thought of. And I'll be honest with that. He wasn't really thought of. He wasn't really thinking about Dalen Terry. But since these injuries have began to pile up against, you know, within the Chicago Bulls team, he's been taking advantage of his opportunities. And it's not going to always reflect in the box score. And I just want to make that clear. A lot of people, they want to say, well, in the last game, he only scored 6 points, only had three rebounds and 1 assist. But I'm like, bro, did you not see the impact that Dalen Terry had while he was on the court trying to help the Chicago Bulls complete the comeback? He was sensational. Like, he had him a basket, going to the basket, but I think that his where he affected the game the most was his defensive presence. He was active. He was getting deflections. He was helping other teammates make plays. He was really doing his thing. And to me, that is a step forward for Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry is growing, and you just hope that he can continue to grow. And that's why when you hear me and C-Dub talk, or you hear any other guests that come on, Steve-O, Big Kev, and sometimes Hayes, we always talk about give these young guys an opportunity, because the only way these young guys can get better is with opportunity. But now on the flip side, I do understand that Billy Donovan does not mess around with these young guys. You either going to come in, you're going to be aggressive, you're going to have an impact, or you're not going to play. It is something that I criticized Billy Donovan on, you know what I'm saying, in the past, but I came around and I believe, like, bro, that's the point. Because let's just say, for the sake of discussion, if you out here coaching, you know, a young team, a flag football team, basketball team with 10, 11-year-olds, you're not going to let one of your 10, 11-year-olds go out on the basketball court or the football field and just lollygag around. No, you're going to go ahead and make sure everything that you talk to them about in practice reflects in games. You want to make sure that's a thing. And I believe Billy Donovan was doing the right thing when you look at everything in hindsight. And if you look at last night's games with specifically Dalen Terry with his 18 minutes, it's not going to be pretty when you look at the box score. But if you actually watch the games, he earned all those 18 minutes. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he should have been out there a little bit longer. He should have been inserted a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? Because though the Bulls wanted to play small and you seen some positives out of that, I think that you needed Dalen Terry size in certain situations, because Javon Carter was getting killed a little bit. Terry Taylor is 6'4" as well, and that's not having much size out there trying to play small ball against the Indiana Pacers, who had one of their guys with goggles on. I can't even remember his name, excuse me. But he was just out there doing what he wanted to do, along with Miles Turner, and these rebounds and the second chance spots and things like that. So, hey, all things considered, the Bulls did take the loss, but the bright spot out of it all is that Dalen Terry looks like he's calming down, because we all know he was a bit erratic. We know we still got to, touch up on that jump shot. So him and the shooting coach need to go ahead and get up a couple more shots before games and during practices on days off like today where they don't have a game. Need more shots so we can see if Dalen Terry can now put the ball in from the perimeter. We seen him get to the basket last night, but we want to see if he can add a little bit more. Last night, no 3-point attempts. I want to see him take an attempt or two. Let's be aggressive and take an attempt or two. You know what I'm saying? But none of that's me nitpicking. That's me nitpicking of what I want to see. But overall, 3 field goal attempts for Dalen Terry, and I believe that he just fit in well. Is he going to be an all-star type of player? I'm not going that far. I'm just going to say that last night's game against the Indiana Pacers, we seen Dalen Terry grow right in front of our eyes. Now, it's still going to be determined how much that growth is, but we do know he grew at least a little bit enough to earn all those 18 minutes he played last night, and he definitely deserves to continue to see more minutes because his activity on the defensive side, you can't ignore. The activity, the aggression, you know what I'm saying? The speed, the ability to stay in front of other players and, create turnovers with his arm length and getting hands in passing lanes. That's something that can't be ignored and something that you can definitely utilize as the Chicago Bulls decide to move forward, because you don't have a choice. You got a game tomorrow against the Sixers. So that's it for me today, y'all. Just want to give you guys an update on Lonzo Ball and show love to Dalen Terry. He's growing. Dalen Terry is growing. We don't know how much he's grown so far, and it still be determined if he can start to be a consistent player. But last night, it was a good sign. Let me know your thoughts below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.